Today in this video we are going to study about the ambiguous cases of the law of sine. When the triangle is side and angle, we already have studied how to find out the unknown measurements, angles and the sides using the law of sine. Now in this video we will try to find out that how can we study these ambiguous cases. So actually there are 6 ambiguous cases where we could have the angle A is acute or angle A is right or obtuse, and in that case connecting those angles and the sides to find out if we could make a triangle or we couldn't make the triangle. It is very important to understand the main property. So I have a triangle, name it as A, B and C. Okay, so angle A, I am saying that it is 65 degree, angle C is 55 degree and angle B is 65 degree. So what would happen if the angle A, so I can say that the angle A is bigger than, it is 60 degree, is bigger than the angle B, and angle B is bigger than angle C. So if this is the case, then the side which is opposite to the biggest angle A, biggest angle, name it as A, opposite to the B, name it as B, and opposite angle to angle C, name the side as C. So if angle A is the biggest, so the side A will be also the biggest. Then comes the side B, because B is the second highest value, that is 60 degree, and opposite to that side will be smaller than the A but bigger than the C. And in the last, the C, the measurement of the side C will be the smallest. The reason is that the smallest angle is 5. So this is the way we can proceed, and keeping this information in the mind, we will try to read the ambiguous cases. I want to make a triangle. Okay, so I make the two sides of the triangle. Okay, so first of all I have these two sides of the triangle. Name it as A, and here it is B, so opposite to that side is a small b, here it is A. Okay, opposite to that side is a small b. Now I want to drop a height, because I want, in order to read the ambiguous cases, I want to make the relationship of my new line with the height. So how can I make the height? Height could be dropped from the top of the B over here. Okay, a straight line perpendicular to the side AB is said to be the height. Now let's see here. So if I'm saying for the first case that draw a line which is 4 centimeter, and height of this triangle could be 8 centimeter. So what I did, I have the two lines joining with each other, and I dropped the line H, which is actually 8 centimeter. Now keeping this information in the mind, I put my ruler here and I drop the line. So what do you think? That line is 4 centimeters. So why I make it and stop it here? The reason is that this 4 is smaller than the 8. Even if I want to draw another line, and if you are not happy with this line, let's make or swing it over here. So again it is stop here. Or even if I want from here, this is stop here. Okay, so what I have seen, that it couldn't let me create or make or design the triangle shape. So it means I wouldn't have any triangle. So no triangle. So the first case is that the side opposite to the angle A, if it is less than the height, then I couldn't find any triangle. Now what will happen if the height is 8 centimeter? Okay, and I want you to draw another line which is A, and it is also 8 centimeter. So let's try to make a triangle. Okay, I already have been given the two sides, right? Okay, I want you to draw any, regardless it dropped over here or here. I just want you to make the triangle shape only. Okay, so first of all, the height can be dropped from here, and we says that the height is 8 centimeter. Okay, so this is 8. Now I want you to make a triangle. So of course, if you want to make a triangle, if even here maybe it doesn't come 8, okay, over here maybe it doesn't give you the whole triangle, but if you join it, because the main task is to just draw a triangle, can you make the triangle or no? So you can see that exactly I could make a right triangle, right? So name it as A and here it is C. Okay, so the height and the B will become equal because now my triangle is this one, right? I could make like this. So what happened? There A, so H and small a, they are equal. So in that case, you can make a right triangle. Okay. So what? Okay, just another information said what will be the biggest or largest side? Of course, if 90 degree, so opposite to the 90 degree is the largest side. So this would be the largest side. So in that case, right triangle, so you are going to have one triangle. Now what will happen if my A, yani the measurement of angle A is between the measurement of height and the B value, which means I am saying that let's suppose you have, let's according to the triangle, let's try to check if we could make a triangle or no. They are saying that the big B is the biggest side. Okay, so B is, let's suppose it's 10 centimeter over here. They are saying that the height is 6 centimeter. Okay, because it is the shortest side. So I know that the height, in order to make the height, I have to drop a line from here. Okay, so the height is 6 centimeter. Okay, now I want you to sketch a line of A. Let's suppose it's 8 centimeter. So how do you make the 8 centimeter? If this is bigger than the 6, so I could make the 8 centimeter over here. This is 10, so this is a little smaller than that one. I could make the 8 centimeter here. I have another possibility also to make this triangle. Let's check this one, which other possibility I'm talking about. So I want 8 because I want to swing. So from here, I want you to swing it over here. Can you make the 8? Yes, you can easily create a line over here which is 8 centimeter. Now in that case also this angle, this B side will be the biggest side. Why B side will be the biggest side? Because now you can see that this is a kind of the obtuse angle. So the obtuse angle, it means that it is the biggest angle, and opposite to this angle, the side will be the biggest one. So I could have the two possibility. Look at this. I'm just sketching you. So I could have one triangle which is obtuse. I could have another triangle which is acute, but the biggest side is B. So in both the cases, if the height is the smallest one and the A comes between the side which I want to make it is in between the biggest side and the height, then you can make the two triangles, and those triangles are possible in only that case. Now what will happen? What will happen if my A is greater than or equal to B? Okay, so if it is A is greater or equal to B, so of course I could make another triangle, right, anywhere. And now in that case, this angle A is bigger than the angle B because because the A is the largest side, so opposite to that one the angle A will be bigger. So if this is let's suppose it's 60 degree, so this would be more than the 60 degree, any degree but more than the 60 degree. So in that case I would have one triangle. So when I have no triangle, when the A is less than H, when I would have no triangle, when I would have one triangle, when A and H are equal, or A and B are equal or greater than or equal to each other. Okay, so this is the possibility of the second triangle. Now, if A is in between height and B, then in that case, I will make the two triangles. Now, what will happen if the angle A is right or obtuse? So, we have already said about the angle A is right. Okay, so if the angle A is right, understand this one. Okay, so angle A is right, right? If angle A is right, and so this is the height H, right? If angle A is right, I can only make the triangle only when this one, let's suppose this is A, so that this side will be bigger than this side and must be bigger than the height. Okay, only in that case, yani this is the biggest side. I can make the triangle only when I will have this line will be bigger than the bigger than the other two sides. If it is not the case, then I cannot make the triangle, which means that if A is, look, this is 90 degree, right? So opposite to 90 degree, I should have the biggest side. I should have the biggest side. So if this is 8, B is 8. So I should have at least 10 or 9 or 8.5 the measurement of the line. Then in that case, I could make the triangle, but otherwise I cannot make the triangle. And the last case, if I will have again obtuse angle, right? Now, if I have obtuse angle, right? Now, in the obtuse angle, the opposite, you can see that the angle is the biggest, so the side A should be bigger than the B. If the side is bigger than the B, then yes, I can make one triangle. Keeping all these things in the mind, I want you to give one more information related to our past lessons about the trigonometric ratios. Now, one more information about the trigonometric ratios. You know that there three basic trigonometric ratios are sine theta, cosine theta, and tangent theta. And there are more three which are the reciprocals of sine theta, that is cosec theta, sec theta, and cot theta. We already have studied about these 6 trigonometric ratios previously, but right now I want you to give or understand the most basic trigonometric ratio, that is sine theta. Now remember that the formula of the sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Now what is opposite and what is hypotenuse? Have a look, closely look into the triangle. I am trying to make a right triangle. Let's name it as H. Okay. Let's name it as B and name it as let's suppose a small c. Okay. And the angle is here. This is the right triangle. Okay. And the angle, this angle you want to find it out by using the sine theta. So the first thing is that you have to measure, you have to label the triangle. This theta, opposite to the theta, whatever the line is, whatever the side is, name it as opposite because it is opposite to the angle. Opposite to 90 degree, always name it as hypotenuse. Okay. And opposite, now the line or the side which is remaining, it is said to be adjacent. Now I want to find out the sine theta. Okay, so what is the formula? Opposite over hypotenuse. So the labeling is named as opposite is H, and what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is a small b. Now from here I want you to find out the value of this theta. So in order to find the theta, I have to bring the sine here, so in order to bring the sine here, I take the inverse of the sine. Okay, so inverse of the sine is named as or write it as sine inverse like this. So we read it as inverse sine or sine inverse. So I write here, bring the sine here. So I write here sine inverse and then H over B. And what is sine inverse? How to write in the calculator? In the calculator, we press shift and sine. So if you understood, very good. If not, please rewind the cassette, rewind the video and just check this slide one more time, okay? Because this information we require to solve many more of the questions later on. Okay, so this is the angle. First of all, the information we have given that the side lengths D and F are given to us, okay? We have to read the ambiguous cases. Angle DEF are also given. The altitude H from the vertex E. Okay, so let's try to create our little triangle. Here this is D and here it is E. From the E, they are saying that the altitude is dropping. Okay, so we know that this is E. Okay, so this is the height. Now, whatever I have here, if it is D, this is E. So this one is small f, because over here I should have capital F. And what I will try to make it, I will focus on the line. In order to make the triangle, I will focus on the small d. Means here I have to create some line. Okay, now after that I have to check what is my angle D. Is it acute, right or obtuse? So it is more than 90 degree. It means obtuse angle. Okay, so when I have the obtuse angle, so my scenario is a little bit different. How it is little bit different? Because in that case I would have a triangle like this. Okay, so I have A. It's 110 degrees, so I will make like this. Okay, so A here, and here I have the E. Okay, and I have over here F. Okay, so now I have to create or make a triangle. This is D. Okay, make a D angle. Okay, first of all, where is my height? My height, of course, it could be over here somewhere. Let's see first the relationship of the D and the height. So what I have found that the height is 6.6 and the D is 5. So if I want to make this one, height is here, it is 5 somewhere here. Now another thing, if this is 110, so opposite to the angle D, the side should be the biggest one. Okay, if to make the triangle, it has to be the largest one, which means D is smaller than F, even it is smaller than H. So it means no triangle. Why? Because the angle is obtuse, and it means opposite to the obtuse angle should be the largest side. So that's why I couldn't make the triangle. Understand? Next question. Let's read another case. Okay, another case is angle D, which is 55 degree. It means I am talking about some angle that is 55 degree. Okay, I made it over here, just right like this. Now let's hear E. So I have a vertex dropped from the E over here, and after that let's start reading it. Okay, so D is 55, capital D is 8, small f is 6, so this is 6, height is 4.9, so this is 4.9. Okay, this is height. Now angle D is 8. So angle D, if it is 8, so I can make a triangle, I guess. I can make a triangle because 55 in that case will be the largest angle. Okay, let's try to understand about this case. Okay, this case says that height is small. So if height is small, it's very good. Okay, now let's see here what is the relationship between the D, that the side D is bigger than the F. So if side D is bigger than the F or equal to the F, we will have one triangle. You can look at the fourth case in the acute triangle. So we will have in that case one triangle. Why one triangle? Because the 55 will be the largest side, and will be the largest angle, and opposite to that angle will be the largest side. So yes, in this case we can create one triangle. Next angle is again acute. Okay, It's again acute. It is 30 degree. Let's try to make it 30 degree. Drop our height. Height is 7. Okay, so drop height from here, which is 7. Now let's try to understand about the relationship between the D and the height. So can you see that the D and the height are same? So whenever D and height are same, we are on the safer side that it is the 90-degree angle. So we will have the 90 degree. Okay, but if it is 90 degree, my F should be bigger than the D. So if my B is bigger than the D, yes, it is 7.2, so it is big. So I could have one triangle. Now what two things you have to find out? That H and D should be bigger, and the side opposite to this 90 degree should be the biggest one. Yani F should be bigger than the D or the H. It has to be biggest. Okay, otherwise you cannot find out, you cannot make the exact triangle. Okay, now here the angle is obtuse. Okay, let's try make the obtuse angle here 120 degree. From here, I will just drop a height from the vertex E. I will drop a height over here. And now I will try to manage or find out my measurements. So D is 11, H is 8.7. Okay, let's see here. H is 8.7. This is a good sign. F is 10. So this is my F. So F equal to 10. Okay. Now look at this. D is the biggest side. Okay. So I could have, if D is the biggest side, that means I can make the triangle. Why I can make the triangle? Because 120 is the biggest angle because it is obtuse, and opposite to that side D is also bigger than the F and also bigger than the height. So in that case, I can make the one triangle. Which one is my case? Which one is my case? First of all, see, is it one triangle or two triangle? So A is bigger than the B. So yes, A and B are bigger. Now let's try to find out, can I make the two triangles? Yani what is A? A is, that is D is 11. No, D is not. D is the biggest one. So if D is the biggest one, I could have only one triangle. This is the case.